Exponents are a shorter way to write things when I have them written out long ways. Like if I had 4 a's multiplied together, a times a times a times a, I get a to the 4th. The bottom number, the a part, is called a base. The top number, the 4 in this case, is called a power. It is up high, it is powerful. The whole thing is called an exponent. We've got some exponent rules. When you see an m and an n up high and the a's are multiplying, really, my powers add. So like a to the 4th times a to the 5th makes a to the 9th. If I had them dividing, they do the exact opposite. They subtract. So like a to the 5th over a to the 4th becomes just an a, or like a to the 1st power. If I have a negative exponent, it is the same thing as it being in a fraction underneath. So like a to the negative n is like a to the nth power underneath a bar. Just like a to the negative 5th becomes 1 over a to the 5th. This is the rule that half of you get wrong every year. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Because if I have a over a, it cancels into a 1. It does not cancel into a 0. Then I have normal distribution. So it's just distribution of powers. So if I have ab to the nth power, the n gets to distribute in and become a to the n, b to the n. Likewise, if I already had a power there, like a to the 4th, I'm going to distribute that 5 in and get a to the 20th. And if they're already in fraction form, I distribute the n to the top numbers and the bottom numbers, so I get like a to the n, b to the n. So we're going to do some examples and put these together. Your examples are already written in. Mine are not. It came out a little wonky on my digital end. So I've got a power way up high outside of parentheses. What I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute that in, totally common with our parenthesis rule. We're going to distribute. We're going to distribute to everything. So the 5 now gets a squared. The x already had a 3, and it's going to multiply by 2. The y now gets a squared. Then we need to simplify this out. You do not have to show that step every time. I'm just showing you because it's notes. What is 5 squared? Somebody already told me that the 3 times the 2 makes a 6. And the y squared stays just as it is. It doesn't look like it should be, but that's your final answer. There's nothing else you can do there. There's nothing else you can simplify. Okay. So same idea. I've got parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and distribute. When I distribute, the 2 was all by itself. Now it gets a 3. The x was all by itself. Now it gets a 3. The y already had a 2 there. The 2 multiplies by the 3 and gives me. What is 2 to the 3rd power? Yep. 2 times 2 times 2 makes 8. That is your final answer. So I've got 3ab to the 4th times 4 third. This looks so gross and nasty, but we're going to go one piece at a time. These are multiplying. So like normal, my normal numbers just multiply. What's 3 times 4? You don't need to show that step if you're good. I'm just doing it because we're in notes right now. Then the next thing over is A's. This is really A times A, which is A squared. If we were following our rules, it's that 1 plus 1 makes 2. But lots of us know that off the top of our heads now. Sorry, that green's not so easy to see on my board. Then I've got b to the 4th and b to the 3rd. So it's like b to the 4th times b to the 3rd. My rule is what? My rule is add. So I get b to the... That's it. That's your answer. Ask again. So, my next example. We can do this one of two ways. We can distribute that 0 in, or we can use our rule, anything to the power of 0 is donezo. That one should be really simple. Anything to the power of 0 equals 1. Questions for me here before I move on? So, we might not always get positive exponents. We need to use positive exponents to describe this. Were all of my exponents here negative? No. Which was the only one affected by a negative? Okay, which is on what base? Y. So only the y moves to the bottom. So only the y moves to the bottom. The negative is now gone. The negative was replaced by that bar. The bar creates a bar. The negative sign creates the fraction bar. What goes on top? Uh-huh. That's it. That's your answer. Everything is positive. That's it. That's your answer. So then they throw you this. The negative's already on the bottom. In all of our other things, when I have a negative, it turns into a positive. I'm like flipping the signs, or I'm flipping where it's located. What does the negative affect here? Just the x, right? So, the x squared comes to the top, it flips over. The 3 stays on the bottom. Do I really need that one? Could I put it if I wanted to? Yeah. Okay. That's all I'm recording today. That should cover everything.